Have a seat. So one of the stories I've been kind of following a little bit is the Dahvie Vanity case.
Yes.
So
that's
I would love
an excellent example, yeah.
Okay, I'm not very familiar with that. So.
Well, Dahvie Vanity had a run as a pretty popular musician. He was the front man of a group called Blood on the Dance Floor, and they toured with a bunch of other groups, some of whom became very famous and are out touring today. But along the way, he has been accused of sexually assaulting multiple women, including multiple underage girls. And I've interviewed at least 24 of them.
You've interviewed the
on the
victims?
YouTube channel.
Wow,
on the
okay.
And there is an active FBI and police investigation, and he's still out there. It's one of those cases where, because he was such a skilled predator, if you will, and so focused on finding vulnerable young women and girls, that he was able to get away with this for so long. And some of this happened actually in Europe. I've interviewed victims from overseas. I think, based upon what I know in the reporting, his days are numbered in terms of, having to face the music with criminal charges.
Good.
So I think that's coming soon. But yeah, sometimes you need to keep digging away at it. And I learned a lesson a long time ago. I was involved in looking into the Epstein case.
Okay.
Years before it broke, probably 5
wow.
or 6 years
Okay.
before it broke.
Okay.
And I was trying to, and I've been working with some lawyers who were involved with some of the victims, and with some former law enforcement who were hired to look into the case. And there was a lot there. And he had sort of skated on this, Epstein did, because it was portrayed by his team, these are gray area cases, these girls were young but of an age, they were being paid, they took money to give massages and everything. And it wasn't until later that we figured out how vile and vicious the human trafficking was. But I tried to fashion a sting, a la To Catch a Predator, to nab Epstein and his people.
Did you? Oh,
and
wow.
I couldn't get past the security. I couldn't put it together in a way that would work. And so I set the story aside, to be very honest, and went on to work on other things. It was the Miami Herald and Julie K. Brown, the reporter for the Miami Herald, who kept chipping away day after day after day, doing stories in the paper, and finally gaining the confidence of victims and survivors to come forward and to speak. And that is the reason Epstein faced federal charges and was indicted in New York. It was her reporting.
I didn't even know that.
And
really.
so,
Okay.
you talk about the importance of local news and chipping away at these things. That's part of what my YouTube channel is for. Yeah, we launched the Predator thing there too, and that's very interesting, and thousands and thousands of people, if not millions, will watch it.
Yeah.
But this is a story where I think we can get justice because we keep on it and keep talking to victims and giving victims a voice. And my whole mantra for all the reporting we do is that if you can get into the mind of a predator or a criminal and understand a little bit about how it works and hear the voice of a victim, you can prevent other people from becoming victims. And that's part of what I see my job as.
Yeah. Speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, did he kill himself?
I have seen nothing that proves otherwise. I mean, I know there are a lot of suspicious circumstances breeding conspiracy theories. Absolutely. And it is just outrageous that the staff at the Metropolitan Corrections Facility, the federal lockup in Manhattan, allowed this to happen.
Right.
So, yeah, it's going to raise suspicions. But I think at the end of the day, he killed himself, and that's what the medical examiner's report indicates. And he knew that he was facing a lifetime in prison, and he wasn't going to get out. This wasn't going to be the sweetheart deal where he went on the weekends or during the week and, could have his lady friends come visit him at his office, at his lawyer's office.
I like the controversial kind of conspiracy theories and stuff.
Of course,
so
they're interesting. They're fascinating.
Yeah, that's